Is Smithfield Foods in Sioux Falls headed for another outbreak of COVID-19?
A union representative says she's worried because she believes the company is taking fewer precautions. Tina Gonzalez has concerns beyond the Jenga match at this year's Labor Day picnic. The union representative at Smithfield Foods in Sioux Falls is worried about her fellow workers.
Something that we found very disconcerting right now is that for a year and a half we were called essential workers, but now they don't seem to think that it's as much of a priority, even though we are being hit with the new Delta variant.
Smithfield workers still have to wear a mask, but Gonzalez says many of the safety precautions put in place by state and federal officials after the first outbreak are now gone.
They were having daily check-in temperature checks when you walk through the door. They stopped doing that. They got away from that. They had people sanitizing every surface continuously every hour. They got away from that too. To me, it's like they're just looking for another outbreak.
Gonzalez says the vaccination rate at Smithfield is only 40%, due in large part to the 80 different languages spoken at the plant.
It makes more sense for the company to continue to implement these safety guidelines that they had before versus taking them away and saying, well, if you didn't get vaccinated, well, then you're out of luck, right?
There's not a labor shortage, there's a wage shortage.
South Dakota AFL-CIO President Cooper Caraway says workers won't risk getting COVID for low wages.
The pandemic has shown that workers are really reevaluating how they want to spend their lives, reevaluating what they're ready to risk, and most workers are not willing to risk their health, their safety, their lives, the lives of their loved ones for a wage that's barely able to get by.
Caraway says South Dakota is one of the few states where union membership is on the rise.
It's because you're having a new generation enter the workforce and they're committed to the principles of trade unionism.
Very important to remember that this is Labor Day, and without unions we would not be here today. Yes! That is what made Labor Day Labor Day.
Gonzalez says the United Food and Commercial Workers Union has started an OSHA investigation into COVID safety practices at Smithfield in Sioux Falls. Now, according to Smithfield Foods' website, the company says it has responded swiftly, comprehensively, and responsibly to COVID-19, and that providing access to the coronavirus vaccine has been a critical measure in Smithfield's response to the pandemic.